What's going on, everybody? I'm Federo, singer, songwriter, engineer, vocal producer, and today I want to break down a song that I mixed for Lil Baby. I'm always working with some of the biggest talent in the world. I'm here in Atlanta, Georgia, and I've worked with some of the industry's best. So today we're going to do a mixed breakdown of a verse that I did for Baby. I've did a couple of mixes and recordings for Baby, but I'm going to show you one that I love in particular. Okay, so the original name of this record was called Codeine, but we changed it to Money. And here is Baby's verse.
I'ma keep this shit coming in regardless. Snakes on my denim pants like they poison. Sit on that block by myself like an orphan. He say I'm hot, I'm like, fuck that, I'm torch. BB jeans on my pants, yeah. Get new Chanel's in advance, yeah. All white inside red. Double on everybody here, yeah. I can make an house do it back for real. I can fuck a bitch, no cash for real. All this swag, I been popping, don't play with me. Got her mad, cause you know she can't stay with me. If the money ain't the subject, don't talk to me. Remember my first bite, my place used to walk to me. I'm on TV, they look up, they watching me. And I'm never by myself, keep that clout with me. Money, every.
And when it comes to like mixing records and recording records, like big name artists, a lot of people don't understand it. It's a lot more simple than what it seems like, because at the end of the day, it's just like these artists, especially like artists in Atlanta and the major, they want the turnover, especially in Atlanta, they want it back fast. You know what I mean? Because Atlanta culture has raised me to the point where it's like, if I do something in a record, like that's how I learned how to like mix as I go. If you can learn how to mix as you go, like, and you're like an engineer, you're going to get all of the business, because in places like Atlanta, they want to be able to go take a 2 or 3 hour mix and go straight to the club. Now we understand that as a process, you're supposed to send it off and get mixed and send it to the not in Atlanta. In Atlanta, you better be good enough, or you better have a fire enough template to be able to record it in the studio or sound good, and us go play that Magic City or Diamonds or somewhere to be able to go test this record. Because if we feel like it's it, then let's take it out of here. Let's go test the record. And you know what I mean? And if we like it good enough, we'll run with that mix, or we might even take it to the radio. So the proficiency in a place like Atlanta you have to be good. You know what I mean? So with this record, it was the same kind of case. Baby came in, dropped it immediately, and I had to have it back immediately. So one of the things that I kind of focus on with like artists, especially like recording through like things like auto-tune, right, is that a lot of the vocals won't be perfect. So like, so if I hear something like that, like as soon as I did that, some of the vocals I left like pretty raw through the auto-tune, but I'll do something like this where I go to like Waves Tune Real Time. A lot of people like Melodyne a little bit better. Melodyne is still dope, but I think I like this version a little bit better. I go back and forth sometimes though. So I put it in the key. And when I just see sagging notes, I'll just fix those. And I've done that when I've done like Vori or Rollo or any of the major artists. The first thing I'm doing is I'm doing vocal production. This is the most important part of the mix, because at the end of the day, it's like we can fix EQs and compressions. If they record it in a living room or in somebody's bedroom or in a hotel and it sounds clean enough, we're going to radio. We're going to put this record out. This is going to be a record. But being able to fix the notes and being able to direct the artist is kind of what separated me in the industry, because it's like me having a singing background and being able to engineer changed my life, because anybody can press 3 and record it. And you know, if you can learn enough, you can get good at mixing. But can you vocal produce and engineer at the same time? That's harder, because now I could take artists while we're recording and say, hey, you're on the wrong pitch, do it like this. And then like, you know, that is just what separates me. So vocal production. So engineers out there, if you have musical backgrounds, or if you are like, you know, if you're musically inclined, you're probably going to become a better engineer having a musical background than just somebody just learning how to mix. But I learned how to just fix the notes here.
BB jeans on my pants, yeah. BB jeans on my pants, yeah. BB jeans on my pants, yeah. BB jeans.
And once we render that out,
BB jeans on my pants, yeah.
And so like, you know, those are the things, and I know those are little small little nuances, but those little small little details really matter when it comes to having ultimately the fans listen to something that they can just resonate with, because people identify melody within songs just quickly. And you can, even though you can have a few notes out, if you have something that's clean all the way through, then you're gonna have an amazing record. Like if I had the original to what it sounded like, Baby was like pitchy all over the place. You know what I mean? He was like pitchy all over the place. But we got something that we loved, and we got it down.
I'ma keep this coming in regardless. Snakes on my denim pants like they.
So on the main verse, I just used a little bit of NS1, and I wanted to add a little bit saturation, because I feel like the record when I got it was like way too clean, you know. So I got it, added just a tidbit of drive and saturation with that NS1, and it kind of gives the record that grit sometimes. And of course, I wanted his vocals to stick out, so I put another compression directly on there. You know what I mean? Put another compression, and then I went through it with going through my auxiliary. I used a lot of EQ. I put some de-esser on there. This is one of my favorite plugins, Pork Child, and we did this when we were tracking too as well. So did that, and then I might have used just like a couple of de-essers, and that's one of the things that I really love. I really use it. I really love using like the CLA, and using the delays and the reverbs right in the middle of the chain instead of putting them after the chain and using them as sends. I think that those really make the vocals come to life. You know what I mean? And this is one of the most important plugins too, like to kind of give it that enhancement. But I've since then, upgraded my method, but I still love this exciter. You know what I mean? But as of lately, I've been using a lot of the Fresh Air plugin from Slay Digital, which is really dope. You know what I mean? And let's try it now. Let's see what the vocals like if we make that adjustment. I want to see what this sounds like in real time. So we're doing this in real time. Fresh Air.
I'ma keep this coming in regardless. Snakes on my denim pants like they poison. Sit on that block by myself like an orphan. He say I'm hot, I'm like fuck that, I'm tortured. BB jeans on my pants, yeah. Get new Chanel's in advance, yeah. All white inside.
And you guys can see why I love that plugin, because it just adds a bit of just sparkle to this plugin. But this is the original session template. This is the one that we recorded and we did the tracking and the mixing with it. It's just an amazing template, you know what I mean? And then I actually used this as the basis when I did a lot of other recordings for a lot of other big name artists. So this one has evolved over time, and this is one of my favorite templates. And I used a lot of the methodology that I used when I developed the Trap Guys template, which I sold thousands of those templates. I've used that template on a lot of the biggest artists on the world too. So it's a super dope template. Another thing that I really loved about this recording is I love Baby's approach to doing ad-libs. And when I gave them back the mix, they love that telephone sound with the doubler. That's becoming really popular in modern trap music. You feel me? So just using that doubler, adding a telephone effect to the doubler instead of having it just be a plain voice. Because even though they don't want the doubler to stick out as much, or they don't want not the doubler, but they don't want the ad-lib to stick out as much, they still want it to be noticeable. So I think that it came from that development of the Travis Scott, Don Toliver type of ad-libs, and those really kind of evolved because they really are really heavy on that sound. So, but I love it. And I had to do some throws in some places.
Everybody here, yeah. I can make an ounce do it bag for real. I can fuck a bitch, no cash for real. All they swag, I been popping, don't play with me. Got her mad, cause you know she can't stay with me. If the money ain't the subject, don't talk to me. Remember my first bite, my place used to walk to me. On TV, they look up, they watching me. And I'm never by myself, keep that clout with me. Money.
And it was such a dope such a dope verse. And yeah, he made a lot of money on this verse too. Yeah, so the guy he did it for, man, they paid Baby a bankroll to do this verse. I'm not even gonna lie. They paid him a bankroll. But the song is super, super dope. It's going super, super crazy on streaming platforms. And the best thing about this is that I formulated this mix and this recording into an actual template from this and me recording and mixing a couple of other records from Baby. I pretty much got it down to a science, and I put the methodology so you guys can use the same approach to recording melodic trap records. If you want this, the link is in the description if you want to record on the actual template. And also, I made a cleaned up template just for you all to record and to express yourself. And I made it fairly priced because I know, I don't have the cheapest templates in the world, but I've worked with the biggest artists in the world. What do you want from me? So at the end of the day, I keep showing you guys these mix breakdowns because I want you guys to get better. I want to teach you guys how to go get these placements and how to work with these. A lot of times it's just being in the right place. A lot of me working with some of the biggest artists in the world is just me being super phenomenal and me being in the right place, because, being on the internet you can only go so far besides being in the right place. So a lot of times I was just in the right place in the right time, but I was just phenomenal. Me having an advantage, like, singing, songwriting, and then being able to vocal produce while I'm recording and being fast as I record. So if I can give you guys some advice, if you guys want to work with like big name artists, you got to be fast first. It's got to be fast. 2, if you have an unfair advantage in something, like if you can songwrite a little bit, or if you know how to vocal produce, like, you're going to get a lot of work. Like, I get a lot of work because of my songwriting background, because of my ability to vocal produce. And their advantage is because I help artists get through the record. You feel me? So I keep doing these mixed breakdowns because I want to, 1, show you guys that it's possible to work with these kind of artists, and 2, that I can give you a methodology to be able to record in the same process. If you guys want this template, the link is in the bio. Don't be afraid to go and get it. It's fairly priced. And also, I'm going to be doing more of the R&B stuff. Now that I've got a few of the trap records and the rap records, I'm going to show you guys some of the R&B stuff, because I understand that we have singers. And so I want to show you guys some of the R&B templates from some of the bigger known artists that I've worked with on that side. But it's your boy Federo. If you like this, don't be afraid to comment, like, and subscribe. Bye.